Greetings, ladies and gents, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space. And as always, I hope that you enjoy. A Human and His Unknown, written by AdmiralStarNight. The following document has been translated from the released personal letters of a deceased alien soldier to be included in the Light Made of War book, a documentary of all the strange things and clashes our culture made when we met. Approved by the family for release. To protect the family, all mentions of names and personal details have been removed. Cannot believe it. The humans are strange beings to fight against. I know someone who reads this mail on the way home might balk, but I'm not surprised we're going to lose. They just don't follow logic or anything. One of the strangest things I learned is how they, keep animals around. We use the herds and such for food, but that's it. Humans just seem to use everything. Like, here's an example I never wrote to you guys about. When I was young and new to this, a backwater planet really, easy stuff for newer soldiers. One day, while running behind enemy lines, hoping to lay down some traps or steal some supplies, my unit was near the edge of a camp. We could see patrols of humans on foot. One of the patrols consisted of a couple of humans and a four-legged furry creature on a leash. Considering the other foot patrols were 4 or 5 strong, this patrol seemed the weak point. We could slip in behind their backs along the woods. Even though the humans had been smart enough to brush back the undergrowth, they hadn't gotten all of it. So, as we circled around in the fading light of the sun of this planet, we watched for the perfect time. Then moved into the camp. Given the darkness and how most humans were already sleeping due to their short day-night cycle, it was practically deserted. At least until the weak patrol spots us, guns up and shouting at us to drop our weapons, drawing the attention of the other guards and probably waking most of the camp. There were 6 of us and 2 humans and the furry creature. If 5 of us surrendered while the fastest of us ran, that soldier would run back to base and tell them about the capture and launch a mission to recover us. We chose the fastest one, Johnny, and when we laid down our weapons, he darted off through 2 approaching guards who looked stunned by the sudden bolt, just like we hoped. Then the creature. If it hadn't been important, I would have never told you, but this creature, a dog, I believe, suddenly surges forward. The rope the human had been holding detached from the fabric around its body. It goes chasing after Johnny, and I watched with fascination and horror as the dog launches itself up and slams into my fellow soldier, toppling him to the ground. It attached itself to Johnny's upper arm once it had twisted around, causing him to scream in pain. I honestly believed the creature would let go. You know how loud our screams can be. Very scary. But the creature, the dog, didn't budge. Just kept its maw sunk into the flesh until the handler came over, handcuffed Johnny, and called it off. At this point, I didn't expect it to listen. Too starved, or too wild with blood taste, to listen. But the creature let go, and sat down, growling, but no longer attacking. I was amazed. They had creatures for attack on command. The idea was foreign. A creature that would attack a larger, smarter being and listen to a handler. That's not all. You know, I was soon traded back. Being so inexperienced, I wasn't worth much in personal trade, but wasn't worth holding on to. So they gave me back to get some of their own soldiers. Next, we took some small city on a human planet. This one, a regularly snowy and cold planet that was honestly miserable. And to make sure that we didn't get murdered by the civilians, we went around searching every home for guns as best we could. If the humans let us in and were nice, we would look around nicely. When they refused, we'd beat down doors and subdue them. There was this one house. It was set out a bit from the city, but had an address in the city, so we went to check it over, given its location. It had suffered a little damage from the retreating troops, but it was occupied. When we knocked and explained, the human let us in and warned them if they had a cat, something about not liking strangers. The details are a bit fuzzy, as I wasn't the one talking, just there to support. But Leader had shrugged it off. A human wasn't terribly dangerous when unarmed. What harm could this, cat do? A lot, let me tell you. They had a small female child, and while we regretted to wake her, her room had to be searched. We follow the human in, who wakes the child sitting sleepily on the bed. There was this ball of fur, nearly as large as the young child next to it. It was making a strange noise, a low, moany noise that makes my muscles tense. Of course, the Leader is suspicious that this is an active weapon, and despite the human trying to wave him off, reaches down and picks up the ball. Let's just say that Imkar, our leader, had a ton of medical treatment when he got back to headquarters. The ball of fur had turned out to be the cat, and that noise was apparently a warning noise, like the hiss of a red flash tree snake. The cat immediately turns and begins to claw at his arm, before lunging at Imkar's face. I've never seen anyone run out of a house so quickly. The cat chases, but stops at the door. Its fur so fluffed up, it looks like some furry demon. The human apologizes to one of us that had just frozen in shock, and we watch with horror as the little female wanders up and just hugs the cat. Amazingly, the cat just lashes its tail and turns to bump its head into a small human. After that display of aggression, I had expected it to eat the female alive. This probably sounds hilarious, and in hindsight they are kind of funny to me. I don't know about those who had gotten attacked. I heard another story later that week. A soldier had tried to take advantage of an unarmed human alone in a barn. He got kicked clear through a wooden barn wall by a livestock creature called a horse. The idiot deserved being hurt for trying to do that. Seriously, who does stuff like that? But the horse looked to be a sort of eating herd animal. It's not. It's for riding and pulling things. Why do that when you have technology? So, why tell you all of this? Well, this latest story is probably the best. We received reports that somewhere in the upper city, gunshots had been heard from an apartment. Now, being the occupiers, we couldn't allow that. So we looked into the apartment. The humans there were a couple of human siblings who told us that they had no gun. We looked around anyways, and while we were looking, we heard a gunshot. We whip around, and the humans are standing under guard, no guns in hand, yet the sound had come from the room that we were all in. Then again, the gunshot sound, and we narrowed the sound down to a large boxy-like thing in the corner under the brightly colored blanket. Ripping the blanket off, we were greeted by the sight of a black barred cage filled with colorful ropes and wood shapes. A bowl of dried fruit and a bowl of water on one side, and a grey bird thing sitting there staring at us. "Good morning," it said in an eerie human-like voice. "Time to wake up." Of course, we demand to know what this is, and they say that it is an African grey parrot, a bird they keep as a pet. We ask what a pet is. It's owning an animal for fun, basically. They keep a talking bird around for fun. Seriously, I would be freaked if a bird flew up to me and started talking. Then the damn thing makes a gunshot noise again, and the humans shrug helplessly. Apparently the bird had learned the noise while they were watching a war movie. We considered taking the thing back to his study, but after a moment rejected the idea, as someone would probably shoot it for making the gunshot noise. Humans are strange, keeping all these creatures around like this. The dog, I understand. It worked well when the human would not have. But the cat, the horse, or the talking bird? No. Humans made no sense. Why anyone would want to put up with the trouble of keeping creatures like this around when better things existed is beyond me. They must cost a lot of money to maintain and keep. Why keep them when you could have a bigger home, more food, or higher status? Ugh. Humans, strange beings. Hope the war is over soon. I don't want to see another pet for the rest of my life. End of story. The algorithm reckons you should be watching this video next, and I recommend that you should be always watching my video. So, click. Worth energy! And yes, clicking that does help the channel. Thank you very much. I would just quickly like to give thanks to our Tier 5 members: Elithia, Barky, Fudicule, Meridian117, Cam Maxwell, Casper Arnholtz, Albard and Gusta, Savage Patch Papa, and Lord Azrakal.